peace, praying for peace, but I'm playing for keeps. Well, lies beneath my beliefs, I'm deep when I'm unleashed. I dwell alone, study words on tablets made of stone. An everlasting covenant that bring peace to my home. Goodness and mercy follow me all the days of my life. Wages of sin and costly had me paying the price. Nightmares antagonize me nightly, they replace my dreams. Yom Kippurim annually, it had me on my knees. Broken systems that can hold no water. Found my bros and sisters guilty and my sons and daughters. Long suffering and plenty, it's a mercy. No, I'm not worthy, but I'm blessed. How can the nations curse me? How goodly are thy tinsel, Jacob? The lost sheep in a deep sleep this morning, and we finna wake up. We point a weapon out of ox and give me all the lechem. Tell bearing gossip, turn around and say shalom aleichem. Let's readdress our GPS, we in the wrong direction. Redirect your finger pointing to your own confessions. That's right. We were chosen for vessels. It's Jehovah who bless you. Don't think you special and forget you sold Joseph for shekels. Sold for 20 shekels, feed by 10 plagues. We could be amongst the dead instead. Stay on point and in the temple like Yael's 10 peg. Now that's a bar. Let Daniel be your avatar and practice faith in Yah and watch how far it carry y'all. We eat the king's food, swan, lobster, caviar, but we won't lose the moon and stand still, valley of Ajalon. Then Joshua spoke to the Lord on the day when the Lord delivered the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, sun stand still upon Gibeon, and you moon in the valley of Ajalon. Joshua chapter 10 verse 12.
Aimlessly till we obtain our salvation. The wilderness was the womb that gave birth to our nation. We don't run from no demon, they just follow you, so we face them. Survived against perilous odds remains in our nation. We wandered aimlessly till we obtain salvation. The wilderness was the womb that gave birth to our nation. We don't run from no demons, they just follow you, so we face them. Survived against perilous odds remains in our nature. Like in the day the sun and the moon stood still. Continuation of righteous kills. Atmospheric phenomenon occurred at our will. Lit it to fill with corpses of the enemy. Till this day it remains a mystery, unsolved anomaly. It ain't no secret why they can't figure us out. I be trying to tilt cause hard rocks crumble when I decide to shout. No way out of your feeble fortress cause it's decimated. Being oppressed, it's not the norm, I can't get acclimated. It ain't my custom to accept defeat. So martyrdom is more appealing. Fear don't exist cause it's for the weak. I raise the heat at the peak of the day, interrupting solar and lunar rotation and further cause dismay. Why you don't my shemish? Why ya react amada di kon goy ava biggie bon the I alone. History rich is written in stone, but we poor-minded. Somewhere along the line we lost purpose, we gotta find it. And if that means death for freedom, then I don't mind it. Don't play hide and seek with yourself, call that selective blindness. Walking around mindless, absolutely moronic. Rather entertain foolishness to cluelessness, and it's ironic. Demonic practices became the norm. Everybody witches and warlock, but can't seem to stop the storm. Meteorologists, scientists, and biologists can't predict the level of carnage coming, cause they're powerless. Ain't no accumulated arms or nuclear bombs able to change the outcome of prophecy. I'm trying to warn them, take it or scorn it, call it whatever you want it. It's a known fact, nation don't survive after they harmed us.
And Joshua spoke to the Lord on the day when the Lord delivered the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, sun stand still upon Gibeon, and you moon in the valley of Ajalon. Joshua chapter 10 verse 12.
We wandered aimlessly till we obtained our salvation. The wilderness was the womb that gave birth to our nation. We don't run from no demons, they just follow you, so we face them. Survived against perilous odds remains in our nature. Wandering aimlessly till we obtained our salvation. The wilderness was the womb that gave birth to our nation. We don't run from no demons, they just follow you, so we face them. Survived against perilous odds remains in our nature.
Valley of Ajalon, Maureen, Shah, Ben Mishael David, 11 Music Entertainment, bars are back. Yeah.
There's a land over there across the sea. We're going to get started after this. Shalom, shalom. How's everybody feeling? We hope, we pray that everybody is well and will be better. We are going to change a little bit of the format, taking advice from friends and loved ones regarding certain things done on the platform. I've asked several people about the music, and no one that I asked said that I should continue with 20 minutes of music in that they want to hear the presentation and so forth. So I've asked several people, and not one person concluded with me that the music should go on for 20 minutes. Some said 5 minutes, some said 8 minutes, some said 10 minutes, but nobody said over 10 minutes. So I'm going to surmise and take the wisdom from everybody and just let the music go 8 minutes. So again, I've asked several people. Some said 5 minutes, some said 10, some said 8. So I'm going to sit there and take the wisdom that nobody said 20 minutes, as was done in the past, and just sit there and make it 8 minutes. All right, wanted to sit there and advertise in a rap song, my friend Shemaya, my friend Yaya, and the song that you just heard, where you heard Yisrael was saying, may he rest in peace, from an elder by the name of Adon Dawid ben Yahuda. All right, so just want to, brothers and sisters, point that out for reference purposes. If I can be heard well and people are in good spirits, please type in the number 4. All right, thank you for that. If I can be heard well and people are in good spirits, we ask you, please type in the number 4. In this particular presentation, this is not going to be on Facebook Live, but this is on the platform Mora Yeshaya Torah Lessons, Mora Yeshaya Hebrew Lessons, because we're going to go over Hebrew a little bit, Mora Yeshaya History Lessons, and Mora Yeshaya History Lessons too. So it's on more platforms, expanding the matter using StreamYard in that particular case. All right. So this is, brothers and sisters, going to be unusual to some. And by some, I'm not trying to be racial or disrespectful, but the matter say of many cases we're, quote, black people. We have heard as black children, I'm your mother, I'm your father, I'm not your friend. Don't come at me as like I'm one of your little friends. We have heard parents tell parents, be a parent, not a friend. And so with all of that, thank you, my friend Moshe Talmid, for typing that in. With all of that being stated, brothers and sisters, as far as it goes with the matter of parenting and being a friend, what we want to do, brothers and sisters, is speak first and give an honor to the Most High about the magnificence of the Creator. He stated to the children of Israel that he will send his messenger in the wilderness, because if the Most High himself were to lead Israel, Israel will be consumed, because the Most High is too holy and Israel had not reached a certain level. So there's actually mercy in that particular case, brothers and sisters, when we understand and look at it in that particular matter. When we read, brothers and sisters, about the definition of the word friend, and then, brothers and sisters, we look at it from a Hebraic stance as being, as we know, lay claim and say, of the house of Israel. What can we say concerning that is what we want to go over in this particular case. So, without any further ado, brothers and sisters, if we will, right, go over and pull up this, and it should work hopefully in that manner. All righty. Let's see if it shows on such in this case here. All right. Now I'm able to see on my end where it says, can a parent and child be friends? Hebraic thoughts. Okay. So I'm going to, for those who do wonder or whatever like that, just show myself real quick. So you see who channel you on. Some people get on me like, oh, you don't sit there and show your face. No, I like what Bob Marley has said to have said in the movie when it was like, oh, Bob's face is not on it. Everybody know Exodus was Bob Marley. You understand? Showing all the faces and all the times takes people off from the presentation itself. You understand? Looking, say, at it in that particular case. So sometimes I do, in most cases I do not. But to compensate, not to compensate, but to complement what people are saying in my text messages and so forth, when I ask people constructive criticism, those are some of the things that I do get. So I definitely am open to such. So let us pull this up, brothers and sisters. I'm not on this platform going to sit there and say, oh, it's not going to be long. I'm not at the ability to say so in that particular case. All right. So let us, brothers and sisters, get into this. Can a parent and child be friends? Hebraic thought. Shalom. Giving honor to the creator of heaven and earth. In this presentation, we will speak on the matter of whether in Hebraic thought a parent and a child can be friends. Now, most people, not trying to put words in people's mouth, automatic. No, I'm your parent. I ain't your friend. Of course not. Could never be. Impossibility. Your friends outside. Your friends are the people that you sit there and run around with. I'm not to be played with. You don't play games with me. I'm not your friend. I'm your parent. Those are generally, you understand, in that particular case. But let's see. Let's see, as our brother or sister, Volta, I don't know your gender, I'm just saying that, said, I'll guess no. Let's see scripturally what we can deduce. Let's go here. Now, let's look at the English definition of friend. A person who supports a cause, organization, or country by giving financial or other help. That is, according, when I looked up the definition of the word friend online, this is one of the definitions that I ran into. Another one is one attached to another by affection or esteem. Some of the other definitions are talking about sexuality, so we're not even going to go there. Parents and children don't do that. You understand? And the other definition was acquaintance. So these are things that I've gotten from online as far as the definition of friend. One attached to another by affection or esteem. Let's look at that, for instance. Are parents and children attracted and esteemed by each other? What does esteem mean? Meaning that you give one their respect, their big ups, their props, their recognition, their acknowledgement, if you will. That is one of the things when you esteem somebody. That's why, like in Isaiah 53, when it says, and we esteemed him not in regards with the nations in Israel, we're not going to go into what they say Isaiah 53 is about in the common world. But brothers and sisters, when it says in Isaiah 53, we esteemed him not, what we're talking about, brothers and sisters, is the matter, if we will, where one is not recognized, where one is not, for other terminologies, bigged up or praised, if we will. Do parents praise their children? My son did this good. My daughter did this good. Yes, they do. Do parents get praises from their children? Yes. My mother is this. For me, she rest in peace. My mother has been deceased for now 21 plus years. There hasn't been 21 presentations a brother has done in which I didn't speak about my mother. Everyone, I saw her picture in the song that's done earlier. On my Facebook page, Yeshaya Author Danite, her picture stands as part of the profile pic. So, yeah, I do give her that acknowledgement. My mother and my father, may they both rest in peace, did not work out. But in giving honor to my father, I pen named Vincent Hutchison in honor of my father. That's not my government name. That's in part with his. That's to give him esteem and acknowledgement. Even if my mother and my father personally did not work out, I'm commanded to honor them. I'm commanded to give them esteem, even if they did not get along with each other. So that takes being a bigger person, even as a child growing up, to have to sit there and deal with that kind of matter. You still commanded to do what you have to do. So now taking all of those kind of matters, right? Let's see what we can gather in this particular case. An acquaintance. People have stated that Lincoln, while talking about quote unquote the 4th of July, that Lincoln said that Frederick Douglass was his friend. My friend Douglass is one of the things that is said by Lincoln concerning Frederick Douglass. Now, some people would say they were not friends because they only met 3 times. But if we understand the definition that Lincoln perhaps was coming from by saying acquaintance and what some people define friend as, it all depends on one's definition. That's why this is in part named in Hebraic thoughts. We're going to let the scriptures speak upon this kind of matter. Our friend wrote, only attached by affection and esteem, no kinship there. I don't know if that's a statement or a question. Please state whether the part that says no kinship there, Volta, can you please state, are you asking or stating in that particular case? Thank you for the comment, brothers and sisters. It is definitely welcomed and definitely appreciated in that particular matter. All right. Now, let's look, brothers and sisters, at this. The definition of parent, because we're talking about parents and children. According to the standard definition given online, parent is a person's father or mother. That is not disagreed with. Another definition given is a forefather or ancestor. So, brothers and sisters, let's us look at that if we will. A person's father or mother, a forefather or ancestor, is defined, is in that definition that of a parent, not disagreed with. But brothers and sisters, let us now, if we will, take in those definitions from the standard English while now going into the Hebraic understanding and using the scriptures that talks upon part about if your friend entice you to go serve another god, you shall not spare nor pity, but your hand shall be upon your friend to put him to death. The scriptures that say that. The scriptures that say if a man has a stubborn and rebellious son that would not hearken to the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, that they are to take hold of this son and bring him to the elders, and they shall stone him with stones. That is part of the Torah. That is in the scriptures. You understand? Now, our friend wrote, friends are not normally considered blood, and that is true. But let us get into scripturally, and I wanted to cite 2 things about where it says you putting your friend to death scripturally, and the other part that says about a parent bringing their child to elders to have their child put to death in the scriptures. Let's see, knowing what the scriptures entails in certain cases, such as those 2 examples, what can we glean and gain from the scriptures? Let us let the book speak, if we will, family. All right, thank you for that. Let us pull this up here, right? And we want to look at this here. And let us see what this says in Hebrew about the definition or the translation for the word friend, if we will. Sorry about that. Let me look up friend here, brothers and sisters. And let's see what this says here. Kaber. This says, brothers and sisters, in the Hebrew here, and we're going to put it in a slide for a reason. I wanted to show this, as is the custom, in real time as much as possible. The word Kaber, right? Friend. That's what that definition online said from the Hebrew aspect. Now, let us, brothers and sisters, right, go scripturally, if we will. Thank you for that, family. And let us go into the book of if I remember right, 18. 1 Samuel 18. Let's see what that says. Right? And it came to pass when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. Now, let's look at this, brothers and sisters, from a Hebraic aspect, right? Thank you for that, family. Wahi kakal loto ledaber el Shaul. Wenefesh Shahonatan, Nik Shara, Benefesh Dawid, Wayeb Hehu, Yehonatan Kanav Sho. And it said Jonathan loved David as his own soul. What word do we care to point out, brothers and sisters, is this one here in the Hebrew? Thank you for that, family. Kuf Shin Resh. Quashar. To bind, to put together. Nefesh meaning body. Nefesh meaning soul. Nefesh meaning person. The person of Jonathan, the soul of Jonathan, was knit Quashar to the soul of David as his own, which means when you read about what we're going to now go into here, right? Scripturally, we're going to let the book speak, brothers and sisters, right? Let's go. Leviticus 19, Hebrew, Mekon, and this is how I get the Hebrew aspect to copy and paste in that. Let's see what it says, brothers and sisters, right? In verse 18. The English says, you shall not take vengeance, nor bear any grudge against the children of your people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yah. So now let's go here, looking at this now in the Hebraic way, all right? And let's see, brothers and sisters, what we can gather from Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18. It says, Lo tikom velo titor et bene ameaka, wa ahabta l're'eka kemoka, and you shall love. From the word ahab. The word ahab is the verb in root meaning what? To love. So what can we gather? So when we see in the Hebrew here, brothers and sisters, shown there in the yellow, ahab, regarding the matter of Jonathan and David, and we see in the Torah in Leviticus chapter 18, pardon me, chapter 19, verse 18, what can we say? That the union between David and Jonathan is what the Most High had commanded. And they were, without a doubt, friends. Now, for those who don't understand what true friendship is and misunderstand what 2 Samuel 1:26 says, when it says, wonderful was thou to me, Jonathan, thy love to me was passing the love of women. Therefore, they who don't understand what true love is, Ahab used in 2 Samuel 1:26, trying to say that David and Jonathan were homosexuals. No, they were not. Ahab does not identify sexuality. And there are people who have sex, heterosexual, mind you, that there's no love in it. And there are people who are in love and have love and they don't have sex while being opposite genders. So ahab, meaning love, is not agab, which means sexuality. Those are two different Hebrew words. But if you don't understand, and if your mind already is in the gutter, then that person is not going to understand that kind of matter. So now somebody wrote friends or fellow. That could be an English matter. We're saying friends or fellow. But let us see what the Hebraic scriptures, even in the English translations, can gather, or what we can gather from such. Thank you for that question, my brother. Let's continue, family, in this. All right. Now, when we go back, brothers and sisters, as far as friend, Let us go, if we will, again, and let the book speak. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 41, brothers and sisters, in the Hebrew. Let's first read in the English, okay? And let's see and show what it says. Isaiah 41, verse 8. But thou, Yisrael, my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. What did the Most High God, who took Jacob as his servant, say in this? The seed of Abraham, my friend. So we see the word friend there used. Let's see and get into the Hebraic matter, so we can sit there and see what did the Most High say of a human being, Abraham, translated in English as friend, from the same God, the same Elohim, who said, if you have a stubborn and rebellious son, slay him, who would not hearken to the voice of his father or his mother. This our son is a sluggard and a drunkard. Meaning, in other words, just laying around drinking ain't the custom of the sons of Israel. Get up and make moves. The same Elohim who, when you read in the culture of Israel, does not teach that females should not fight. But if a man, her husband, happens to be losing a fight, she cannot go and grab the other person's private parts in her husband's defense. It doesn't say that she can't participate in defending her husband by punching the other person in the face or something like that, kicking a person in the butt. It doesn't say she can't do that. But if she's loving her man who happens to be losing a fight, Deuteronomy lets us know she cannot grab the other person's private parts. So there are rules to certain things, brothers and sisters. So let us get into and see what this is talking about. Let us pull up again the PowerPoint. Remember, we just read in Isaiah chapter 41, verse 8. It said, the seed of Abraham, my friend. The Most High called Abraham, the Chaldean, in the scriptures, in Isaiah chapter 41, his friend. So let's see now if Hebraic thought will allow us as parents to be friends with children when our Heavenly Father said that somebody born on earth is his friend. Why do we think that we can't be friends with our children when the Most High, who created the heavens and the earth, said that one of the human beings that came from the line of Terah, out of the line of Shem, out of the line of Noah, is his friend? Abraham, correct me if I'm wrong, is 22 generations after Adam. Sin that entered the world. By that point, by the time of the prophet Isaiah, Abraham had passed on. The situation with him and Hagar, that done passed. The argument that him and his wife Sarah had, that done passed, because they're both now deceased at this point by the time of the prophet Isaiah. The situation that happened with Abraham and his father and why he left his father's house, that done passed. So now, centuries or so after Abraham's death, we see the prophet Isaiah citing the Most High, saying the seed of Abraham, my friend. So to answer the question, yes. In Hebraic thought, a parent and a child can be a friend. If the Most High, who spoke about killing your children under certain circumstances, or unaliving your children, as they want us to say on the YouTube now, can sit there and say that, and the same Elohim is said, Abraham, my friend. That was the point of going over that. Wa'ata, and you, Yisrael, Jacob, Abdi, my servant. Yaakov, Jacob, Asher Bakartika, Jacob, whom I have chosen you. Zerah, seed of Abraham, O Habi. What does that word, O Habi, mean, brothers and sisters? Does it sound like, brothers and sisters, any way, shape, form, fashion, connection to the word Ahab that we went over here, brothers and sisters, shown with the backdrop of green? So now, brothers and sisters, in Hebraic thought, Ahab can also mean friend. So now in Isaiah chapter 41, verse 8, when it says Abraham Ohabi, meaning Abraham, my friend. Yes, you can, as a parent in Hebraic thought, be friends with your children. 1 second, family. I had to sit there and go into the charging of something. So now what I'm trying to show, if I can be heard well, please press the number 4, because I had to step away just for 1 second to charge the computer. Thank you for that, or to put that in. Now somebody asks, is the word for friend there kabir in Isaiah chapter 41 verse 8? No, the word for friend that we see there is the word ohabi. Ohab meaning friend, ahab meaning to love, ohabi, the e part at that end signifying mod. All right, so there's 1, 2, if we will point that out for reference. Now again, this is in Isaiah chapter 41 verse 8. All right, shown there where it says my friend. So why do we think that the Most High can say a human is his friend, but then we also can think that we can't be friends with humans who come from us? I'll tell you why, in my understanding, not trying to lean on my own understanding. We don't know how to be friends. We go to jobs we don't like. We around men and women we don't trust. We have significant others that we're looking to get rid of. We got mothers who are jealous of their daughters. You got fathers who don't even want to be there to say, wait for me to get home. It's boys going to be me and you. You got females talking about, while that pagan day, quote unquote, what they call Father's Day, is talking about Happy Father's Day to another female. That's ridiculous. I got female cousins who talk like that. I ain't got no man. I'm the mother and the father. Well, like, sister, cousin, relative, black women, you are not the father. It's sad that the person that you had the child with did not decide to stay around, or you chose to not have him around and he got comfortable with it. Let's talk Israel. You understand? Because everything ain't just one-sided. Now it's time to fix the situation. So now, with what we've gone over, right? Taking now this English definition, let's use this, if we will, slideshow, right? Friend, one attached to another by affection or esteem. So now, brothers and sisters, when we go into scriptures, if I can be heard well, please press the number 4. Brothers and sisters, thank you for that, family. Looking at that, one attached to another by affection or esteem. What can we say concerning that particular matter? Thank you for that, Moshe Talmid. Somebody wrote, I think it should be translated as Abraham, my beloved. All right, let's look at that and say that in that particular case. And then let us also understand a Hebraic way of friend. Someone asked this word here, right? Kaber. Now, what I'm going to do is jump the gun, and I'm going to look up the word kabar, the root of such, under this here, right? So let's look up ket, bet, and resh. Now, this is probably just going to say friend with the vowels there, right? Friend, in that case. Friend, companion, boyfriend, because kabir is masculine. Partner, companion, steady, member of organization, comrade, kaverim, friends. Kebar, group, assemble, staff, team, Commonwealth League. Kabar. Now, this is the one I wanted to get to here. To join in, to team up with, to join forces with, to associate with. So the word kabar, shown here in this case, where you get the word kaber from, right? They still going to say friend here. But the verb kabar, and we know the verb, thank you for typing in the number 4, Volta, right? It means what? In verb form, as we just shown. Be joined, added, bounded, composed, written, associate, composed. So now if we were to then take associate and take their word that they use here, acquaintance, is that not the same premise? Can we say, brothers and sisters, looking now, letting the book speak, and I thank you for the comments, family. Let's look into the scriptures itself, right? If we were to go, brothers and sisters, into Exodus 20, right? And let's see what this would say. Exodus chapter 20, right? And we read this in verse 5. And showing mercy unto the thousands of my lovers and to the keepers of my commandments. The English says what? As we're familiar with. Saying, Shalom, brother Chief Shama, Chief Eleazar. How you doing, my brother? Shalom, Aki. And showing mercy to the thousands generation of them that love me. The Hebrew here says what? Le'ohabai. Copy. So let's look at this. Citing the book, not my teacher, this teacher, my school, my camp. We're not doing that because we're going to let the book speak, brothers and sisters. Le'ohabai. We see that word means my lovers, translated commonly as those that love me. But now in Isaiah chapter 41, verse 8, right? Did we not just see, I'm gonna write it here, Isaiah 41, 8. Can we say to the translators of the Tanakh that they mistranslated that word ahab, ohabai, the ohabai, those that love me, my friend? If there's love between people, and if we even want to take the English definition of this as friend, a person who supports a cause, organization, or country by giving financial or other help, one attached to another. We went over earlier, 1 Samuel chapter 18, when it says that the soul of Jonathan was attached to the soul of David, and they were best friends. Besties, no homo intended. You understand? So these are things, brothers and sisters, that we care to bring out for reference purposes. Then we have here acquaintance. So what am I saying? Not trying to put words in people's mouth, in the scripture's mouth, but line upon line and precept upon precept, that yes, you can be, as a parent, a friend to your child. Because how else are they supposed to learn what friends are? Let me tell you something, man. Man, woman, family, elders. You know how pimps get the females they get with? I'm the nigga in the alley. I'm the pusher man mentality. When you read in the Tanakh, in Leviticus, letting the book speak, chapter 19, do not profane the daughter to cause her to be a harlot. Pimps get daughters of mothers and fathers who were not there in their life. See, this is no shame on Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. But Joseph sadly was already sold, and Benjamin, to my knowledge, was younger than Dinah. So Hamor, the son of Shechem, in Genesis chapter 34, it says Dinah went out among the daughters of the land. Hamor was not going into Jacob's house with 10 brothers and a father talking about, I'm going to sleep with Dinah. That's not happening. You gets none, excuse the language, going into Jacob's house from Dinah with her 10 brothers around. That was unheard of. That's why Genesis would tell us a thing that ought not been done. What do I want to point out in saying that in that particular case? Hamor was not a friend. He was not a friend to the sons of Jacob, brothers and sisters. Dinah was more of a friend to the daughters of the land than Hamor was a friend to the sons of Jacob. So we have to understand, like the book of the Apocrypha teaches us about a friend. Be not hasty to credit him. Time will tell the story as the elders tell us. Ask your fathers and they will tell you. Well, our fathers, our ancestors, as some say in that case, time will tell the story. You understand? So what do we care in all of this to point out? If we are told in Leviticus chapter 19, right here, that we see, all right? Leviticus 19:18, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, which means that you have to be your own friend, your own fellow, your own supporter, as well as that which is others. You support yourself, you are a friend to yourself, you are a fellow to yourself, you are a companion to yourself and to others. And that energy, as to use that terminology that people commonly use back and forth, or the ruach in Hebrew, meaning the spirit, will feed off of each other. But when you find, and I'm not trying to shame any parent, you understand? I ain't your friend, I'm your parent. What they're saying is, I'm not one of your little friends out there. But what we've gained in this, hopefully this presentation, is that you are the biggest friend, Ima. You are the biggest friend, Abba. And we want to show Hebraic thought about parents and teaching and who is taught. May he rest in peace. The guy who helped start the Crip gang, Tukey Williams. He stated that his father left him. Proverbs chapter 29 and Proverbs chapter 30 teaches us a child left to his own self will indulge in evil. So now when you look at people like Stanley Tukey Williams, may he rest in peace, who helped start the Crip gang, he was left to himself and he got caught out there in the streets. Had he had that guidance, he probably would have not gone that way. When you look at, may he rest in peace, some may say yes, some may say no about that, the guy who the rapper 50 Cent took his name from. He took his name from a person who was put to death after robbing over 30 or so people. After saying, assaulting and putting to death, say 30 or so people. That's why some people say that guy don't even need to be put in the rest in peace category. But that's between Kelvin Martin, the original 50 Cent, and his maker, the Most High. You understand? What do we want to say concerning this, brothers and sisters? Parents who are not there for their children. And if the child is a girl, expect to have a grandchild before you have a son-in-law. Parents who are not there for their children, expect your son to be a wild person because you was not there to help straighten that person out. There was no, these are the rules and the regulations. See, a true friend, as I'm trying to convey that a parent, a mother and father is, yes, a friend to a child. You lay those rules down, friend. What did, not to be racial, the white man used to say in the commercials, friends don't let friends drive drunk. Friends don't let friends drive drunk. A friend wouldn't let a friend drive drunk. Somebody who loves you wouldn't sit there and come at you like that. Is that not what our parents told us? The reason why I'm getting at you the way I am is because I love you. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't get at you like that. I'll just let you go on and just do whatever. If I ain't care about you, if I ain't love you, I know I heard it. And something tells me I'm not the only person in the chat who heard it. I'll go so far to say I know people in the chat heard it because I know some of their parents. So these are things, brothers and sisters, looking at it in that particular case. So now let's see the Hebraic understanding that we also care to bring out for reference purposes. All right? Now let us go and letting the book speak. We're going to go, brothers and sisters, close that. We're going to go, brothers and sisters, to Proverbs chapter 1. Nobody's going to sit there and tell me that I was the only person who ever heard one's parents say, I'm getting at you and I'm what you call being mean to you and giving tough love because I love you. I know I wasn't the only one who heard that, because the people in the chat that I know of is of my people, and I know how our mothers and fathers were. All right, so let's go on and we look at this, brothers and sisters, in Proverbs chapter 1, brothers and sisters, and let's see what it says here in verse 8. Hear, my son, the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the teaching of thy mother, and forsake not the teaching of thy mother. So now let us see what this says here. All right. Shema beni musora biha wa altitos torat emerka. What do we see right here? And we're going to highlight that or backdrop that part, and we're going to enlarge that. Because as we get into Hebrew, we also want to get into the matter of Hebraic thought, right? And I am open, family, to constructive criticism. What does that say there? Torat emerka. What does that word sound like, brothers and sisters? We're going to copy that. Let's see what this Hebrew, do it in Hebrew online thing says this word means. I want to show this in as much real time as possible. Thank you, family. Torat. This says theory. According to that. Now, let's see what this word here, according to this, says. Taking it from Torat, when the hay turns to Tau, to Torah, Bible, which we know, brothers and sisters, Torah would mean law and so on, to order, to indicate. Now, let's look, brothers and sisters, at what we're looking at here. And this is why I like to do it like this. Torah, law, comes into the word Torat, meaning law of. So now when we go back here in Proverbs 1, and it says the teaching of, can it also mean the law of? Yes. Emerka, your mother. So now, where does in Hebraic thought the word Torah come from? Let's see, brothers and sisters, in this manner. Hora. Let's see. To instruct, to command, to order. Now, when we take, say, now that word, sorry about that, family. I want to show this in as much real time as possible. Thank you for that, brothers and sisters. Torah, right? We see here, Hora. What does this translation that they got online say is the definition of the word Hora? All right. Hora, it says there means, Hore means parent. So what is a brother conveying? Looking at it from a Hebraic aspect. Mind you, this is the same Hebrew culture that talks about, and it's not to sound harsh, if a man has a stubborn and rebellious son who would not hearken to the voice of his mother or the voice of his father, which indicates in Hebraic culture, parents don't say yes and the other parents say no. Parents don't say no and the other parents say yes. The children have to see a unified front for them. It should not be a thing. Mommy say no, so I'm going to ask daddy. Daddy going to say no, so I'm going to ask mommy. No. It's supposed to have been a unified matter in that case. So now, if brothers and sisters, Hore means parents, brothers and sisters, and Hora we already went over means to instruct. Who do we get instructions from? Parents. To instruct. Now, hora also means, in noun, in person, place, or thing, a female parent. The male parent is said as hore, but it's spelled the exact same way. Hey, wow, resh, hey. So now, brothers and sisters, when you take the word, if we will, brothers and sisters, right? Torah, what is the difference between Torah here you understand? Torah means law, instruction. Now, when we go back, letting the book speak for itself, family, all right? In Proverbs chapter 1, verse 8, we see, and forsake not the teaching of your mother. This teaching of your mother in Hebrew is said as Torat Emeaka. All right? It's not going to let me do that way. Let's see if it lets me do the whole verse. Nope. So let me go back here, family. In this case here, Torat Emeaka translated into this matter here in this online Bible Hebrew translation. Let's see what it says about Torat Emeaka in translation. Translate. Your mother's teachings. Okay, the teachings of your mother. Brothers and sisters, what are we talking about in saying that a friend cannot be between parents and children after what we went over? What are we saying, brothers and sisters, in saying that parents are not the instructors? I try to give my own 2 cents on that. Many times we don't know as adults even how to be a friend to one another. Many times as a parent, we don't even know what to instruct. Oh, it doesn't come with a book. Listen, family, I've been staying and my daughter been staying with me for almost now 7 months. I've learned so much about her having not been, not to be self-centered or condemning of self. I wasn't the best father for her growing up. You understand? But now that we're spending a whole lot more time, children come with a book. It's called Deuteronomy chapter 11. When it says you shall diligently teach your children. What do you mean they don't come with a book? Well, come in with a child. You didn't read that part in English or Hebrew, Spanish or Portuguese, or even in Arabic, maybe. But yeah, children come with a book called the Torah already. And as a parent, it tells you you're supposed to teach them. It's part in Deuteronomy 9. It's in part also in Deuteronomy chapter 6. But if the children are not there and you're not around the children, how can you teach them? So now when you have recovery from being deadbeat father and deadbeat mother, when you have recovery from antisocial and not knowing how to get along with people, to learning how to become a better parent, speaking in general, learning how to become a better friend, speaking in general, we see what the scriptures can entail. The Most High, our Father, said that Abraham was his friend. The word ahab in there for love. It tells us to love our neighbor as ourselves, which means you have to love ourselves. It's not so centered and horribly selfish to love yourself. We're told that you're supposed to teach your children. You are the more, male teacher, and mora. So what is the difference between that? Let's take this word here, Torah, and see what this one says. Theory. Okay, brothers and sisters. And then let's take the word that we went over here. Hore, meaning parent. And then if, brothers and sisters, if we were to take the word mem, wow, resh, and hey, more means teacher. The sister wrote, I'm definitely a friend to my kids. I teach them what they deserve and what to look for in relationships. I must commend that. That's written by the sister Kanaya Yisrael. I know good and well, and my daughter may hear this later. She's at work now, working on quote unquote their holiday. You understand? But they don't press her to work on the Shabbat. So I was like, listen, take the time now. You understand? What do I say as a father to a girl who's going to be 19 next week about relationships? You become her aznayim, her ears, and let her talk. So that way, one can gain understanding. When the children of Israel was at Mount Sinai and the Father, Ha'el Elyon, the Most High God, spoke, the people said, Moshe, you go up and speak with him, lest we die. You understand? Did not the Father say they have well spoken that which they said? The Father, the Most High, the supreme intelligence of the universe, the one who sees all and is not seen, the one who judges all and is not judged, said that mere human beings, scared of his voice, spoke wisely in Exodus. So if the Most High God said that a human being, Abraham, was his friend, and we are told in Deuteronomy 30, letting the book speak, that we are supposed to be greater than our fathers, then yes, we will be friends with the Most High. Was not there a prophet named Akiah in the time of Jeroboam? Now that's a deep one, because Akiah means God is my brother. That's real deep right there. This is not trying to make the Most High into human or human into the Most High, but that was the prophet's name. So we have a power and a prestige that we are brothers and sisters. The Kabir, the joined to the Most High. That we are brothers and sisters. The Ahaba, the love of the Most High. And we are that with each other, their parents and his children. Honoring your father and your mother does not entail the parent telling the child, I'm not your friend, unless you have the hood definition of friend. Not understanding the English that we showed earlier, or even deeper into the language itself. How are children supposed to learn what a friend is if you don't teach them? Remember, we went over parents supposed to teach children in Deuteronomy, right? So how are they supposed to know what a friend is if you ain't teaching it? Who are they supposed to learn from? The pusher man that came out with the song in the 70s talking about I'm the nigga in the alley? Excuse my language. That's supposed to be who your boy is supposed to listen to? Is the friend of your daughter supposed to be like, this is how the daughters of Canaan get down, Dina? So when Hamor slept with Dina, she was doing what the daughters of the land did. Are those supposed to be the friends to your princess? We have to sit back, Israel, and think on these kind of matters. The daughters of Israel are not like the daughters of the nations. The sons of Israel are not like the sons of the nations. If anything, they're supposed to see us to see a light. Not we walk into their darkness. So brothers and sisters, this is no disrespect to anybody. This is not self-grandizing. No one is perfect. But brothers and sisters, we can work on our perfection. So thank you for joining in. Hopefully the presentation was understood. It is now going on 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am off during their quote-unquote holiday, and I'm intend to at 5 p.m. on the same platforms do another presentation. A presentation, brothers and sisters, I intend to do is about a biblical timeline in history and putting the naysayers to silence, as it says in the scriptures, and giving honor to the Most High. May they be still as a stone. the haters of the Most High shall dwindle. Because to give a hint on what we're going to get into, say an hour from now on the same platforms, Most High willing, please tune in, family. There isn't a date for a historical thing in the cuneiform writings of Sumeria. And there isn't a date for the papyri and the stelae that you find in Egypt. There isn't a date that you see in the scriptures of the house of Israel, which in ancient times was written on parchment. But you want to say that the Bible, namely the Tanakh, the Old Testament, as it's called, cannot be a history book because there's no date. While you cleaving to the Egyptian ways, but there's no Egyptians writings that have dates on it either. So how then is that history? Tune in at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we want to go over those kind of matters and give an honor and praise to the Most High, the Creator, the Maker of heaven and earth. We hope and pray that everybody is well and will be better. All right. So people say, "Oh, who's the one talking? Can we see we've been listening to?" Yes, just wanted to show that in that particular case. So Shalom Moshe Talmid, Shalom Kanaya Yisrael, Shalom Chief Shammah, son of Chief Eleazar, Shalom Volta, Shalom everyone else in the chat, and I'm open to constructive criticism. My number 908-587-4841. Shalom, Most High bless. Stay tuned. Another presentation coming up on the same platforms. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.